I always like to mention that how important it is for you to present a perfectly wonderful image when you get to greet to parents, because that's, you could spend $1 million having airplanes right in the sky. You could put ads on the back of a bus. It doesn't matter. It's you are this. You are the curriculum. You are the salesperson. You're the one that they want for their child. It's so important that we offer the best that we can. So I'm going to ask a question and you think about it, and then I'm going to show you some of the stuff I have on my table, because I just went in the drawer and pulled out, there's stuff all over this house. It's neat, but I know where everything is. Like, I have everything in case I need it for a project or an activity. But I'd like to know, did you get the email from your principal on the report cards? I sent that out the other day. Now, I know it's a little bit late because you probably have completed your end of the year report, but if you didn't, my words, your principal has it, and it gives an outline strategy, which we talked about. Open with something positive. Your child has been a pleasure and blah, 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 blah. And then go to the report card that you have already in place. Use that as a blueprint. Go and highlight the activities that you can discuss. Attention span, understanding numbers and letters, a few, no more than 3 or so. Don't make it overwhelming. Always include some kind of recommendation, even if it's just keep up the good work. However, if there are areas where you have some concerns, and you've got to, because you can't possibly test them remotely. It can't be the way they would be tested in school. You're going to make recommendations that parents continue to reinforce cutting skills, attention span, whatever it would be, and then wish them a very good summer. And if you can, give a couple of websites or something that they can look into. And I forget where I heard this. It could have been on Eileen O'Neill's, one of her Zooms. And I thought this was a good idea. If you say to someone, I want you to read books over the summer, or blah, 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 blah. If you don't give an exact plan, the kid's going to open the book on August 31st. You have to say every week or every other week or whatever it would be, twice a week you need to do this. We need to be very specific. It's like when somebody calls the house and they say, or I'm going to drop it off later. I never accept that. Excuse me. Morning, afternoon, can you give me a range? Even like when the repairmen come. Are you coming between this and can you just narrow it a little bit? So when you're going to give directions to students, and you know this already, but you have to make it specific, an accountability, or parents are not going to be sure and they'll forget what it might be. But it is always good to give some activities, some websites, something at all over the summer. And if you have the inclination and your principal is comfortable with that, I think it would be lovely if you make connections and keep an eye on them over the summer, even if it's 1 email or 2 emails or something, just to let them know that you're there and you care about them. And because we really don't know what to expect in the fall. We really don't know. And we will be working on that as soon as graduation is over. I know that the diocese will be really struggling along with government regulations and trying to have a crystal ball look at what schools will look like. And I'm sure your head has gone in a million directions, as mine has. Are we wearing masks? Are the children wearing masks? Are there going to be petitions in the classroom? Can they share toys? Can you gather on a rug and read a story? I don't know. I've heard things like they're not even allowed to eat they have to sit at their own tables. I mean, their own desks. If I walk into your classroom and you have desks, I have a heart attack. I don't want you to have desks. We want collaborative, circular tables, conversation, opportunity to learn from one another. Desks isolate you. The tables build cooperation and opportunity to connect. But with the pandemic, are we going to be forced to separate and disconnect? And for how long? We just don't know what to expect. I'd like to hear some thoughts on that. I would like you to tell me what your idea is, what your thoughts are, how it's going to look. Is there a plan in place? And what are your fears? So having said that, somebody has a light lit. Just put your hand up if you wish to share. And you know I have to have you share. Yes.
Hi, good morning,
Morning.
everyone. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah.
I know our school had sent out, I think it was through Eileen O'Neill, a survey to the parents
Okay.
about, I guess, what they feel going forward in terms of, you know, how the remote learning went for them, what worked well, what didn't, or what they feel comfortable with in terms of if their children were, you know, to come back to school in person in the fall. So, you know, I guess those results would help. I think the parents have to answer the survey by June 8th that asked.
And what is your question, or are you just
Sharing, and that the parents, I think, are supposed to answer it by June 8th. So I guess that will give some feedback for what they think, you know, worked for them in terms of the remote learning and how comfortable they feel, or, you know, how they would like to see school reopening in September.
Yeah, that I saw that too, and I read through it, and they're open-ended questions for a parent, and basically, I talk to parents sometimes that we're really waiting for the virus to make the decision, basically, and then our political leaders to decide when and how. I've gotten a little bit more bold. Yesterday, I went to a tea party with my friends in my age group. Now, we're in that age group of target age. These are ladies I went to high school, grammar school, and college with, and we had a tea party, and none of them wore masks. And I wore my mask. They were annoying me, but we're all kind of isolated, but we're the target group. So I see that people are getting a little lax with it. You go on the news, you watch them on the beach, they're not distancing, whatever. It seems the weather is nice. It seems like it's lifted already, and we don't know. We don't. And then with what's going on with all of the protesting and people gathering, are they spreading it? Will we see evidence in 2 weeks of the hospital entries go up? We're like in a test tube, so to speak, but keep yourself isolated and safe. But I don't know how we would be able to teach. I could see us wearing a mask. They have these plastic, sort of like a headband and a shield. I've seen that on people, but I don't know if it's hard to breathe in that. But I can see a teacher wearing the mask, but there's no way that you're going to be able to keep a mask on a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old.
I'm very nervous about what September is going to look like, because I can't imagine socially distancing preschoolers and not sharing toys and wearing masks.
Yeah.
Isn't that what preschool is, sharing?
Yeah.
It's scary.
It disconnects who we are all about. Socialization is the most important part. So I don't know if we'll open in September. I don't know if we're going to have a flare up. We don't know. We really don't know.
And the only thing you can hold on to, Debbie, is just think about how scary remote learning was the first day.
True.
And suddenly it sort of felt not terrible by the end. It wasn't the same. So I keep praying that we come to somewhere in there and look at each other saying, look how afraid we were back in May.
Yeah.
But it's,
Good advice.
I totally get what you're saying, Debbie.
Yeah. I feel like we're pioneers or missionaries or something, you know. I remember when Kennedy was shot. You never forget that. You're never going to forget the pandemic. There are things that, you know, 9/11, there were events that shaped and altered. 9/11 changed the world, you know, it did. And now this is a change in the world as well. But we're still here. We're still functioning. We're still working. And we grow from it. We've learned and we're growing from it, which is good.
And now they do the, what do you call it, right in the office.
I have something. I was in my classroom yesterday closing it up, which just was horrible, but we'll get through it. What is everyone's suggestion? I mean, I'm kind of closing it up like I do every year. Getting rid of stuff like you said, trying to eliminate non-essential things or stuff like that. But my thought is, come September, we may have to do individual bins of toys for each child or stuff. But at this point, I was thinking of just closing it up as usual.
I can't imagine any other thing that's exactly what I would think you would do. The best thing is to eliminate the crapola that we've had. And speaking, I mean, you're going to die when I show you this stuff that I hold on to, and I'm going to explain. I'm not getting rid of it. There's things that I have that I might have to get rid of that now. No, it's okay. I might as well show you this right now. As the maintenance men were cleaning out the rooms and I went into school, I couldn't resist going through the garbage of other teachers. You know that feeling? You know, ooh, it's free stuff. So this, you remember I talked about a gooseneck lamp earlier on a Zoom? This is what a gooseneck lamp is. It's like really kind of dated, but I think they're coming back a little bit. Now, the reason this was in the garbage was this little bottom piece here was open a little bit. And inside here was some kind of clay that had hardened. It needs something to weight it. It needs something in here to weight it. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna figure out how to fix this and then glue this back on, because this is what I talked about when you read a story or you're doing a project. Now they have all kinds of different things, but it is, I still have all the old film strip projectors. For those of you who are really dated, I still have those film strip projectors and the film strips. And you know what? Sometimes I take one. Do you know what a film strip projector is? Basically, it's a unit that has a lens and a camera, and you have a reel, like a reel with a video, like slides almost. You put it in there, and every time it beeps, you turn the little circular dial and you see Goldilocks on the first one, beep, you go to the bear's house, beep, you go to the porridge, beep, 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 beep. That was our technology back in the 70s and 80s. Well, if you have an old film strip projector and you get a table and put like a cloth over it, not all the way down, and you create your own movie theater, children can operate that. They learn to beep and turn it. Sometimes there's a book that accompanies it. It's like a little center, a little place for children to go and handle their own learning. See, that's what we need to do in our really good classrooms. Create little pockets where children can do things independently, and then you partner them together. Somebody who has experience and is comfortable with doing it, and then somebody like me who doesn't know. I go sit with you and I learn from my colleague, from my 4-year-old friend. Now, while you're doing these things around the room, you are now free to go and sit with somebody that doesn't know how to hold their pencil well, or you want to go flashcards with letters and numbers, or you want to extend that child's journal writing. You have to have a variety of activities where children can move from place to place, so you are free to attend to those who need you more one-on-one. Now, be careful not to only just go to the needy children. You have to give yourself to everyone in the room. So even though you're spending more time with the child that can't seem to work unless you're there, you still have to get under that table and go and look at that camera with the one who's going beep, and so on and so forth. So there's value in everything. There's value in everything. I saw a teacher once, you know, the milk cartons that milk used to come in. I don't even think we do it anymore, but those little individual milk cartons with the straw. She made a neighborhood. Everybody got to paint their house, and she made a neighborhood around a tree, all over, like you would have in the old days around your Christmas tree, and a train would go around, and each house, each box was their house. And they did something to personalize it, either with a number or the color of their door. These were 4-year-olds, and they put them in blocks with street names. Wow, wow, wow. Map skills, art activities, brain power. You don't really have to always plug things into electricity to make it a valuable lesson. The creativity, invention that you want to bring to children. That's what you should be giving to your preschoolers. Anyone else with a thought on the end of the year or ideas like that? No? You ready for me to read your story? Have you been good today? Then maybe I will. I was going through the drawers and looking for stuff, and I got to get a battery. This is something that just says, get away from me, don't come near me. Here's my favorite. I love this. I keep this at my desk. I don't give it to anybody, but when I'm having a day, ta-da! These are wonderful things to have. These are toys and props that keep us going. So I'm the sucker that buys all those things. I used to love to go to my husband. What are you having for dinner? That would be it. You know, it'd be some kind of stuff. And you can do things like that even with the kids. How do you break a tantrum? How do you redirect when you're dealing with a 4-year-old who's ready on the floor kicking and stomping? What do you jump down on the floor with them? You can't do a thing like that. How do you break it? How do you break that connection? You need bubbles, puppets, lights. Oh, even this, took this out. I had a student once at Seton Hall. She was one of the best students I'd ever worked with in my life. And I would just love watching her and listening to how her brain worked. And when one day she read a story to the children, she was a senior, and she would read it in the dark. It was a scary Halloween story. She used lighting a lot to do that, you know, and I like the ideas, but I noticed that she would ask the most incredible higher level thinking questions. She would just always add an extra something to her lessons. And I said to her afterwards, I would stay an hour after the lesson just to pick her brain. Where do you get those ideas and those questions that you ask? And she said, it's part of my lesson plan. My training now at college is that I have to, in my 5-page lesson plan for the university, put down higher level thinking questions that I'm going to ask that. Now, I was stunned because I told you, as a teacher, when I first started, I'd get the book. All right, sit down. There's the book. Read the book. Did you like the book? Good. Go back, get your coats. We're going home. That would be the way. I'm telling the truth. That's how it went. I didn't realize that a book is a tool, a resource. It's like a telescope to the moon. It's really something that you can use in so many ways. And we're foolish if we don't take advantage of the garbage that we find. I'm going to make this, and then I'm going to raffle it off to one of my teachers. I'm going to see how we're going to get to use this, because I like that. I'm going to fix that. If I can figure out, what should I put in the bottom? Help me think of that first. What should I put in here? It does work, by the way. I did put a light bulb in. Imagine if I did everything and it didn't work. It works. What can I put in here that's going to make it heavy, that if I hot glue this on, it won't fall apart? Is there a clay or a molding, something that you might, I can't figure it out. I can't get into Michael's.
Why don't you get some garden blocks and hot glue them to the bottom?
Oh! Prize winner, you can borrow it the first week of school.
Okay.
Hot glue the rocks. Yes, because I'm thinking if I put something heavy in here, it's going to fall out.
Right.
Oh, you may now take a nap. Give yourself, I used to love it. Now give your brain a kiss. Whenever a child, have you heard that before? Like when a child comes up, well, give your brain a kiss because your brain is working. And I love it when there's a video about on that. I have a lot of good videos that maybe I could even make a list of. They're old, but they still have the quality. And when the child would come up and give an answer, the teacher would say, give your brain a kiss. And the best part of it afterwards is, even when the teacher didn't say it, if they go back to their desk and give themselves a kiss to their brain on their own. They're so precious, these little babies, the things that they pick up. But okay, I'm gonna read this story today. Now, I'm going to read it not like I read when I was a brand new teacher, but some of the ideas and things I thought about. I would like you to critique me. I would like you to get a piece of paper and a pencil. And as I'm going through it, if you see something that I'm the student teacher, you're the professor, what are the values, the goals, the standards, the benefits of some of the things you'll witness me do that support best practice and quality instruction? The reason you need that language, see, most of what we do is intuitive. We just instinct. We've been doing it. We're mothers. We're women. We're teachers. But you need to identify those goals, the language. What is the value? How do you pull that into the bigger picture? Because again, we're always marketing our school. You've got people that come in after they've read all the state, what should you be asking? What are you covering? Is my child going to speak Greek by the time he leaves? Will he be able to get into Harvard early? What are the things that you're going to do? So you need some of that, some of the jargon, that language. So as I go through the story, and I do that with you, write down a couple of things that you think that have a connection to the standards, to best practice, okay? So now this is a book, and of course you would read the book, boys and girls. Oh, I would always put my finger, thank you, there. These are some of my sight words too. So I'm gonna put the hat on eventually either. Now, I think I told you this last week, but you should read a book at least 3 times. You gotta read it several times. First time is just for the pleasure of figuring out the book, what it is. Second time, you're going to go back and recall some of what happened in the book. And then maybe the last time, we can do it just for pleasure again. I told you that books, I love that. Did I read you the Chinese brothers? Still don't know if I can bring it out in public, but I'm thinking about it. So this is a simple book, and you always want to predict. Oh, look at this little character. What is he? Oh, oh yeah. And what does he have in his hand? Let's see where he's going. Oh, obviously he's going somewhere. This is for anyone who ever thought they had something great, something really special. Stop in between. You always have the power and the permission to end it, to shorten it, to expand it, to go back to it tomorrow. Somebody throws up on your shoe, that's a clue. It's time to stop. It's time to stop. Somebody pees on the rug. Okay, let's go. There's always, you are the instructor. You are the orchestra leader. You can alter it, change it, add whatever. You're out, and all of a sudden a deer is outside the window. They're not paying attention to this. We got to go up and look at the deer, or whatever it might be. So you have to be flexible. What is that called? Teachable moment? Remember that old term? Okay, so early one morning, a little bear found a little box. Now, I stopped here and I said, I love boxes, because a box is like a surprise, boys and girls. What comes in a box sometimes? What are some of the things? When do you get a box? Your birthday? Christmas? And you say, what could be in the box? So you know what I did today, children? I went and got 3 of my favorite boxes. Let me show you. 1 box, 2 boxes, 3 boxes. Now, I'm going to see if you can guess what's inside the box. Now, I would probably pass it around. Everybody touch it. It's not terribly heavy, but can you hear? What do you think could be in here? This is a box that you would have for like a cough drop or a mint. What do you think might be in here? Any guess? Now again, come and look a little closer. Even in your Zoom, come and look. Oh, I'm going to give you a hint. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but see if you can figure this out. In this box is something that's circle shaped. There are 4 of them, and they're all different, and they're little. And you need them if you go to the store and you want to buy something. Maybe a piece of gum in the machine, or something at the cash register, what do you think it could be? Then you would, okay, what do you think it is? Coins. Okay, I have a quarter. Now, if you're doing a higher grade or a little challenge, which one, let's put them in size order. You can put them in size order. You could try to add them up. Depending, you could do this with 3-year-olds and 7-year-olds, I guess. There's lots of things that you could take the same lesson and stretch it. When I have student teachers and they do a lesson and they're going to write it in their portfolio, take the lesson plan, the unit plan that you did for 7-year-olds and show me how you can pull that to 10-year-olds, to 5th grade. 2nd grade, 5th grade. Can you teach solar system? Yeah. What would you do? What would you change? You can take the same lesson and build on it by adding or diminishing. So I've got 4 coins. You know, I would have them here. We would look at them. You might circle them. We might measure them in height, whatever. So that's the first box. Now this box, boys and girls, I got a gift in this box. And it was something that I loved. The gift is not in here anymore. What could come in this box? I'll tell you, it was something that I wore on my wrist, and it helped me tell the time. What do you think that might be? Now, I haven't read the story yet, but we're talking about, we've added another dimension. It was a watch, but I don't have a watch in here anymore. I put something in here that I use, I need it when I have a meal. A fork, a spoon, and a knife, which I can't get out. It fits in the box. It fits in the box. It's my knife. I'll get it out later. And it fits nicely in that. And I would tell them a story. My grandchildren play a game on me with grandma. And they find my boxes and they hide different things in it. Make sure you're writing some of these things down, because I'm going to ask you if you think what's the value of that? Okay. Now, the third box is something I keep in the drawer. Now, listen. It's a little heavy. I keep it in my utensil drawer, and I need it when I need to fix something. And I use this with this. What could be in this box that I need this? What is this called? Hammer. What letter does hammer begin with? Hammer. Ooh, what letter does it end with? Hammer. Another.
Let's take that out.
Let's see what's in here. Junk. But all kinds of, here's a big, what is that called, children? A screw. Very good. Look at this one. This one here. I have wonderful things in here. So if something breaks in my house, what is that called? Like a picture hook, right? And I have nails and I have things in here. So I keep a little box like that. Do you have a box in your house? Where do you keep it? Is that good to have? Yeah. Opportunity to speak. Doesn't matter what the answer is. Opportunity to connect, to pull them out. Maybe I can't tell you how much 2 + 3 is, but I might be able to tell you I have a box like this in the drawer, okay? All right, so now I'm going to get my hats. I don't think I did this last week. Did I? Did I read the book? Okay, here we go. I'm going to take this word. I love these. I love these. Now, this is the word H-E. That spells he. Every time I say he, you put your thumb up, okay? I might not do it the first time. That's a second lesson, because right now I'm going to go through the story. I'm not going to focus just on the word. Focusing on the unfolding, the beginning, the middle, the end of the story. You take this book, you could probably do 10 lessons with one thing. Okay, here we go. Now I'm making these all up. This is because I'm old and I've been doing this for 50 years. It's also because I steal from you. If I go in your room, I go with a camera and lots of ideas that I've seen. I just get everything I've learned, I learned from the teachers. Most of it. You just see that those are the best practice. So thank you, Bear. there he is going, and he finds his box. Now, is that a big box or a little box? We really can't tell yet, right? What do we need to put next to it to see if it's big or little? Can't tell. That could be, it's hard to tell from that, right? Little perspective. Oh, now I see. He looked inside and said, why, it's the greatest thing ever. Mouse will love it. Why do you think he thinks Mouse would love it? I wonder what he's thinking, why Mouse would love that. If there's no food in there, is there? I don't think so. I wonder why Mouse would love it. Give me an idea. You want to think about it? Okay. On his way to find Mouse, he showed it to the monkey. Monkey said, that's not so great. Oh, look at the monkey's face. Let me see you make a face like that. Yeah, monkey face, monkey face. And look at Little Bear's face. Sometimes you don't even need words, boys and girls, right? You could tell from that picture that the little bear is sort of disappointed. He thinks this is great, and the monkey, sometimes a picture tells a story. That's why I like when you draw pictures, and then you tell me what the story is about. I love that, boys and girls. He showed it to the owl. Owl said, I've seen those before. Oh my gosh. Not happy. He showed it to the fox. He showed it to the fox. And the fox said, you're holding it the wrong way. Oh my gosh. Nobody's excited the way he was so excited. He showed it to the elephant. The elephant said, I think it's too small. Well, what did the elephant put inside the box? The tip of his trunk. It certainly is too small for an elephant, right? But who did we say he was going to give it to in the first page? I'm going to go back and look. I'm going to go back because a book tells me a message. And it's okay. We're still learning. This is not a test. Let's see what he said when he found it. He looked at it and he said, why, it's the greatest thing ever. Mouse will love this. It's really a present for who? Everybody say it. Mouse. Mouse. Okay. He showed it to the squirrel. Squirrel said, it would be much better if you gave it to me. Now, why do you think the squirrel would like it? What do you think? Why would the squirrel like it? What do you think? I have no idea. I'm trying to see if you think. Could the squirrel sort of fit in the box? But what would stick out? If the squirrel got in the box, what would stick out? Who can tell me? Raise your hand. One of you raise your hands and say the word. Yes. Say it out loud. I read your lips. The tail? Yes, the tail. Sure, that squirrel his tail would be hanging off. Now, after this, I would probably get cardboard boxes. This just came to me now. Get some cardboard boxes in the room. Who doesn't love a box? When you buy a kid a toy, they don't even want to look at the toy. They want that box. They want to get inside the box. Okay. He tried to show it to the bunny, but the bunny said, I don't have time. I don't have time to look right now. Bunny said, hurry up. Where do you think the bunny's going? What does he look? Maybe he's hungry. What is the bunny going to eat? The bunnies eat, boys and girls, maybe carrots. The little bear stopped. He wondered whether it was so great after all. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. While he was wondering, Mouse came along and asked Bear what he had. Look at the size of the mouse and look at the size of the box. What do you think now? You think it's going to work? Maybe it's going to work in a special way. He put the box on the ground and he showed it to Mouse. Mouse looked at it this way and that way, and he turned it. The mouse crawled inside the empty box and he said, it's the greatest thing ever. Isn't that what he said at the very beginning? I think that's what Little Bear said in the very beginning. Why, it's the greatest thing ever. It's the greatest thing ever. It's the greatest thing ever. Wow, they agreed, didn't they? Oh, look at little Bear. Now he's smiling. And thank you, Bear. And what did the mouse do when he got in the box? Oops. He took a nap. Okay, did you like that story? All right, back to reality. What would you say the purpose or the value of that? You have to raise your hand because I'm stealing your ideas now. Okay. Who would like to share something? Yes. Colleen, is your hand up or you just? No. Oh, come on, you know. What was the purpose? What were the values? What were the benefits? What would you put down in your lesson plan? Mary Kay.
To keep them involved with the story.
Did you see your faces, how involved you were, you goofs? You big goofy lugs. You were reading that story like you were going to think the diamond necklace at the end of the box. Keep you involved. What about it kept you involved? What did I do or what did I model for you that made it compelling? Maria, is your hand up or no? I need you people. You didn't learn anything from it? Okay, Colleen.
What I liked was like Elephant didn't like the box,
Right.
but by the time Mouse got it, he did. So what is good for somebody isn't always good for everybody. So what you might like, somebody else might like, but that's okay.
Right, right. Pulling that in. Is there anything I did that I could have done better or eliminated? I like to always ask that. Should Mrs. Casucci have done, did I take too long? I don't know. Was there anything that you would recommend for me? That's another thing that you want to always have them critique. And they're a stakeholder in your classrooms. What was it about that book? You know, and as I said, I might read it a couple of times. Yes, Helen.
A lot of the times when I'm reading a story, I'll ask the children if they could jump into the story and become one of the characters, what would they do? I try to do that a lot when I'm having them draw conclusions about things, think about what might happen next in the story.
Yes, excellent, excellent. And if you wanted to, if they were a little older, you might have a chart next to you, and you might write that down. I love when teachers use what do you call that, a storyboard or
yeah, I do a lot. It's an old term because I graduated a long time ago. Language experience approach.
Yes.
I do a lot. Yeah, I do a lot with the big chart papers. And you want to
write that down. And you're modeling writing. Really good teachers lose their voice by October. By October, you have laryngitis. You can't talk anymore because you're narrating and speaking everything. Oh, let me see. Oh, yes, I hold the pencil. Oh, yes, I must put the cap back on the bottom because if I don't, well, I'll find it in the corner. So when I pull the cap off, that's what I do. Yes, and then I'm going to put it back when I'm done. It's constantly modeling. And now I'm going to start. Do I start on the right? Oh, I always start on the left. Now let's see. Capital. Okay. What animal came first? You might have that ready in the beginning, and that could be something that you might have pictures. If you have a 3-year-old, you might have pictures of the characters. You can do a storyboard. You can do a little, storyboard where you put them in order of how it happened. Why is that valuable? Why is a storyboard? What does it do for the child? How does it prepare them for what?
The kids that are visual learners, very often, they'll get that visual clue, especially with sequencing, they can actually see the sequence of events.
Yeah, yeah. You've got to have concrete. You can't, I remember being a first grade teacher and I just didn't realize that. And I would put 3 + 2 on the board equals, and if they didn't get 5, I'd be annoyed with them. I'd be annoyed that they were willfully disobeying me, willfully not complying with the brilliant teacher, not realizing that they don't know what the heck I'm talking about. I got to get 3 blocks or children or shoes or whatever and put them together. And I might have to do it 3 times for one and 103 times for somebody else. That's why the kids that are in under the blanket, doing the film strip projector can do that while I'm working with the two kids that can't seem to get that connection because they've never had that experience. I mean, if your mother is home with you and she says, I think I told you that my mother would take me shopping. Did I tell you that? I was a little girl, I was an only child, and we would go, my mother was brilliant. She didn't even know it. Finished 5th grade. I know we only have about 5 minutes left, but we would go to the supermarket and she would go, we lived in an apartment, she'd get a little stool, she'd go above, I'd sit down the stool and she'd go above, open the pantry, and she'd write down what we needed. Cereal, and I'd watch her, cereal, detergent, soup. We'd go to the supermarket. We didn't have a car, we'd walk. She'd walk a mile to the supermarket. We'd have both hands on that dopey shopping cart, pull that cart along, pull it along. We get to the supermarket, she'd say, Gloria, I need a box of Cheerios. Now she'd position us in the right aisle. She'd be in the aisle where the Cheerios were. What color is it, Cheerios? Oh yes, it's yellow. And it has a C. Can you find a box of Cheerios for me? Oh my God, I was about 5 years old or 4 or whatever I was. I'd find that Cheerios. It would always be something at my eye level too. And soup cans or cookies. They would be common things that I would gather them. And then we'd put them on the cart. There was no conveyor belt. And they'd add it up. We'd take the stuff back up the stairs, the cart up to the 2nd floor, put everything on the table. My mother would get on the stool. She'd buy the pantry. She'd say, now we play store. Oh, Gloria, I need a box of Cheerios. Can you hand them to me? My God, now there's 10 things on the table. Yes, Cheerios. Give it to my mother. Okay, now I want to the detergent. Can you find the patience of a brilliant woman who never passed 5th grade? Because that's what you did when you were in those days. But simple, patient activity. She modeled the writing, discrimination, differentiation, empowered me. She knew exactly how. I don't know why. I don't know how she knew this. I don't know, because she didn't grow up with wealth or opportunity. They had problems in the house. I don't know how she knew that. She was an intuitive mother, you know, and just brilliant, brilliant. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to go crazy. You've just got to get inside the head of your children. They look like they know it. They don't have a clue. They have a clue. They've never had a quarter to put into a vending machine. So I can't even say to everybody, you go to a quarter, you go get a piece of gum, you know, and you put it in. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I remember being in a supermarket recently, well, a couple of years ago, and there were 2 little girls. One was in the basket sitting, and the other one was standing in the cart. So we'll say 2 and 4, or 2 and 5. And the 5-year-old said, Mommy, I want money for gum. So the mother got her out, gave her whatever it was. She went over to that wonderful round circle filled with beautiful colored gum balls. And she got to put the quarter in. And she turned that, and out came a red gum ball. And she put it in her mouth, and it was just, got back in the cart. And the 2-year-old was fit to be tied. Fit to be tied. I watched the whole thing. She couldn't talk. Maybe she was younger than 2. Pulling her hair, mad as can be. She wanted what the sister had. She didn't know what it was. She's getting it. I want it too. And I was laughing myself silly because nobody saw it but me. And these are the little things that fill my heart and my life and whatever. I realize that kids are always watching what is going on. We really have to be a truly effective teacher. You've got to be globally watching and getting in their heads and remember what it was like when your lousy sister got the gumball and you didn't get it, or whatever it might be, you know, just to put yourself back in that emotion and whatever it would be. But so there were a lot of things, hopefully, that you'll think about this more. It's almost time to end. Is there anything else anybody wants to add? Because it's the last one of the school year, our last meeting. I wish you the best of luck, health, pack up, get rid of the crappy stuff, the garbage that's in there. You can always get more things. People will give you anything you want. You can get anything from parents. They're amazing with the preschool. So do I have any words of wisdom or any thoughts other than goodbye, have a good summer? Is that enough? Okay, good. Thank you so much. I love being with you. Is the one that makes you
Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you,
Thank
Have a great
Thank
summer.
you, Ann. Thank you, Ann.
Thank you, Gloria and Ann.
We'll get together
Happy
again.
summer.
Okay?
Thank you,
Stay
thank you,
safe.
thank
Stay well. Pray that Atlantic City opens quickly because I can't wait to get down. Those slot machines get me. So,
you.
Bye.
all right.
Okay.
Take care. Love you. Love you.
Bye-bye,
Love you.
everybody.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.